Welcome back, Truth Seeker. September 5th, 2018. One of the top news stories today, the first major hurricane of the season and the threat it poses to the East Coast. A lot of projections are saying this storm could impact North Carolina and that region. If you're new here, I authored a book. I finished it earlier this year. It's been out since March. One of the later chapters in that book is about weather warfare by the numbers. Weather warfare is something that's been admitted by world militaries since 1952, knowing how to influence weather, cause storms, cause flooding. This is something that's been going on for at least 70 years that's been admitted in the public record. And through this research that I've been doing every single day since 2013, I figured out how they wage this weather warfare by the numbers. Please read my book if you have not done so already. It's undeniable. What I teach in that book is exactly what I'm going to show you here today. And here's just the latest example. Yesterday we just covered Tropical Storm Gordon, now Hurricane Florence. So today is September 5th, written 9/5 like 95. And in this code of letters and numbers, which is used by our federal government to carry out all of their operations, literally, Hurricane Florence sums to 95. Just like the date of this news. They're saying it's a threat to the East Coast. East Coast sums to 59, the reflection of 95. Today's date can also be written 5/9 like 59. Perfect date for this news. They're saying it could threaten next week around the date of September 13th, which is a date with 59 numerology. So keep that in mind. Further, the number I really pound home in weather warfare is 52. Today, September 5th, 2018, is a date with 52 numerology. And we get the news about the first threatening hurricane on this date. In Gematria, Hurricane 52, flood also sums to 52. By understanding this code, last year I was able to predict when Harvey would cause flooding, August 27th, which it did. I was able to predict the date that Maria would devastate Puerto Rico. Got that right. Also, the day to look out for in Florida with Hurricane Irma. Got that right. That's the day Jacksonville and that region flooded. It's a very repetitive pattern that these things are done by. Weather warfare is a calculated science, and this is how it's carried out. I can't emphasize it enough. Please read my book. It's more than just hurricanes. But again, today has the 52 numerology. We get the news about the hurricane that is named accordingly, Hurricane Florence. Couldn't be any more perfect. Couldn't be any more well thought out. Today's date also has 25 numerology, the reflection of 52. If you just add 9 plus 5 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8, 25. The other method, you add 9 plus 5 plus 20 plus 18. These are both different numerology paths for the date, but they both fit. Hurricane also has Gematria of 97 in the base ciphers, which is the 25th prime number. Flood also has Gematria of 25. Hurricanes cause flooding. Our language is very well thought out. It's all mathematics. Last year in Houston, we said to watch out for the date August 27th because it was the 239th day of the year. 239 is the 52nd prime number. 8/27/17 was also a date with 52 numerology. It's also the day in history that Stevie Ray Vaughan died, who's remembered for the album Texas Flood, his best-selling album. A lot of these things are well planned out, well thought out, planned many years in advance. Don't forget Houston flooded also after hosting Super Bowl that concluded the 97th season of the NFL. 97, the 25th prime. That Super Bowl was on 2/5, February 5th, a date that can be written 2/5 like 25 or 5/2 like 52. They moved the touchback to 25 yards in that season because understand the same people who control your government, your military, they control your sports leagues too. And think about the NFL. Non-stop military programming. Sports are a distraction for the masses so they don't see the military dictatorship that they live in. You know? So they're pacified. Be all you can be in the military. How many times are you going to see that commercial this year watching your football games? Go out and buy another Chevy. Drink another beer. Send your young one off for the New World Order Mercenary Force, aka the U.S. military. Don't forget the 25-point comeback, where I also guaranteed that game the Patriots would beat the Falcons, and it was all about 25. Falcons equals 25. 25-point comeback by the numbers. The halftime score, what was it, 28-3? Then your halftime performer has a 28/3 birthday, Lady Gaga. You don't know how scripted all of this stuff is, but it is. If you've been following me for years, you do. If you've read my book, you do. If you're new here, you got a lot to learn, and you definitely want to learn this code. Show you more about this world than anything else out there, and that's a guarantee, you know. The reason I priced my 773-page book at $5 is because everybody has to have this information. People need to know what's going on at this day and age. Some other devastating 52s in history, Katrina. Remember how Katrina was synced up with the NFL? Next thing you knew, the New Orleans Saints were the class of the league. They won a Super Bowl. They won Super Bowl 44 by the numbers. You know, Katrina made landfall on the date with 44 numerology. Ray Nagin, Mr. 44. Last year, Hurricane Maria with the devastation. They referred to that as a nuclear storm. Go back and look at your history of testing nuclear and atomic bombs, detonating them in the sky to intensify storms. Hurricane Maria, the nuclear storm. They said that about Hurricane Irma too. See if they say that about Hurricane Florence in the days ahead. Maybe it will become a nuclear storm. But check this out here. Hurricane Florence began August 31st. That's the day the storm formed. August 31st. They're saying it could impact North Carolina. Here's why that jumps out. August 31st, 2018, date was 77 numerology. North Carolina equals 77. And better yet, United States equals 77. You know, they're saying this is a threat to the East Coast. It's a threat to the United States. It's a threat, very possibly, to North Carolina and that region. So we'll watch and see what happens here, but just understand the damage is already done. The fear is already introduced, and that's what this media does every day. That's what our military and government does every day. Puts all this fear on us, all this needless fear. And you know who's paying for these storms? You are. The person going out there and paying your taxes, working every single year, 30-year income, maybe more, going to the federal government, to this big military dictatorship. And this is how they spend it, you know, creating weapons of mass destruction used against us, the people. And why do they do this? Because this entire nation is a big Ponzi scheme. It's run by a central bank that needs continual debt and lending. That's how they maintain the Ponzi scheme. Create another problem. Somebody needs a big loan to repair the problem. The Ponzi scheme just keeps going, you know. That's what it's all about. It's what we live in. It's why a lot of the people at the beginning of this nation fought against the central bank. They said these bankers are insane. You know, they start wars. They just create problems so that they can maintain their position in this world with their banking lending scheme. You know, the 1700s, wars. In recent years, weather warfare. So, learn the code, learn a lot. In the description of all of my videos, the book Letters and Numbers is linked. You can come to my blog. That's another good place. Right as I say that, Timberwolf291 just picked up the book. You know, you want to have this book. It took me 5 years to write. Should be priced at $500. It would still be a bargain at $500. But fear not, it's only $5. Your book, you can't beat it. You know? Until next time, Truth Seeker.